Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to show you how to make a side circle fun fold card. Let me start by telling you where I got this idea. Like I'm sure many of you are stuck at home, we're watching a lot of crafting shows and expos, and I was watching a demonstration for a side circle card die cut, and I thought to myself, I think I can make that with things that I already have. So I went and gave it a try. I'm showing here a couple of examples, but let's jump in and create this card with products you probably already have. I'm going to start by pulling out my Stamps of Life card kit from May 2020. I have already used a number of the products from this card kit, but I wanted to use some additional pieces to make this sample with you today. So we'll just take a look here at the different pattern paper that's included in the kit and make some selections for the card that we're going to create. These cute little turtles, they do have a stamp and die set for those turtles as well, but I'm going to choose to use ones that are already printed and colored in for me, just to save a little bit of time. And I also chose the special friend paper and a piece of the blue and the white cardstock. So we're going to start by making the base of the card with the blue, and the base of the card is cut at a 9 by 4 1/4 size, and that's going to give you the initial base of the card. So there you can see I'm cutting the 9-inch and then the 4 1/4, if my mat would stay straight for me, 4 1/4 slice there. And then you're going to go ahead and score that base at 3 1/2. Now, I don't have a scoreboard. I got to add that to my shopping list some point. But you're going to go ahead and score either with a scoreboard or just a ruler, and a tool will do it for you as well. And again, that's a score at 3 1/2. And then you'll see I'm going to fold that, and that's going to make that initial base of the card, and you can start to see that first piece coming together. Okay, so let's go ahead and make the second piece. So the white cardstock is going to make the inner layer and then also the circle that goes over top. So the circle measures at 4 inches high to leave that 1/4 inch of the blue that we're going to adhere it to on the inside. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to make a little mark at the 5 1/4 inches, because that's how big the inside portion of the card is going to be. I'm also going to then grab a circle die of your choice. I happen to have the Spellbinders Nestabilities with the scalloped edge. I chose the biggest one at 3 7/8, and I went ahead and laid that die, making sure that I had a little bit overlapping where I made that score mark, so that when I put it through my die cut machine, and I'll show you another little trick here, how not to cut the entire thing, but I wanted to make sure that it stayed there. So what I'm doing now is I'm laying it on top of my die cutting plate, but as you can see, if you see that little brown mark there, I'm putting that at the very end so that when it goes through my die cutting machine, it doesn't cut the entire circle. And that's just one trick of the way to keep it so that it only cuts partial of the circle. So I'm just die cutting here off camera. There we go. And taking off my washi tape that was holding down my die. And then you'll see that the part that I wanted of my circle is cut, and then you're going to come back in here and score at that 5 1/4 mark again, where that little brown mark is that I had made. I'm going to line it up on my board again because I don't have a scoreboard itself. I have to use my ruler and a handy dandy little tool, but either way works. So I'm going to make a score line, and then I'm just going to cut off that little bit of excess. If I was perfect in my die cutting, I probably could have got it to the line and only had to cut the straight lines, but I had to cut the straight lines and just a little bit of that scalloped edge, as you can see there, to get it to the shape that I want it to be. And then I'm going to take advantage of that score line, and I'm going to fold that circle part in. And then you'll see how the white fits right inside of the blue and makes that fun fold on the top, just like that. So we're going to go ahead and adhere the inside of that card. I like to use a lot of adhesive all the way around the edges to keep it intact. And that's it. that is your base of this side circle fun fold card. You could do that with a straight edge, with a scalloped edge, bigger, smaller, and I'm sure you could do it with any number of shapes and sizes. So we're going to go ahead and start to decorate this now. So I'm going to decorate that outside panel with this special friend paper. It coordinates great with the colors of the turtles. You're going to want to cut this at 4 and 3¼ inches. I messed up and I cut it at 4 that way, but in this size I needed it at the 3¼ because it has writing on it. The way the pattern goes obviously matters. So it's 4 by 3¼ inches, and take special note to cut it the right way depending on your pattern, of course. And then I'm going to adhere that to the outside panel of the card. I think pattern paper is great. It's a really quick and easy way to give it a nice look without having to do a whole lot of decorating on your own or adding additional embellishments. So I like using pattern paper. And you see there, I got it a little messed up. This paper is really thick and really great, so it allowed for me to mess up a little bit and relift it up there. Now I want to go ahead and ink that circle. I kind of thought about that after the fact, but it just looked so bright white, so I wanted to bring a little ink. So sorry I went a little off camera to do this, but I do come back here in a second. I intended to just go around the outer edge like I'm doing now, but I got a little crazy with the ink pen or the ink pad, and you can see it got a little further in than I had intended. So we're just going to go ahead and tuck a little paper under there so that I can do that end part of the circle that leads into the straight edge. And then I'm going to go and really ink the entire piece because I went a little crazy. So I'll just bring my blending tool in here, get some more of that ink, and try to even that out. And I really like how it ended up at the end anyway, so those little mistakes all happen for a reason, I think. There we go. All right, now we're going to go ahead and choose the turtles that we want to put on this card. I had pulled out the stamp and die set because I had thought that I had the die to use for the turtles on this, but I don't have the die for the small ones. I do think there is a die, but I don't have it. And I didn't want to use a big one by itself, so I wanted to use 2 of the little ones. So we're going to go ahead and fussy cut them out. So I'm just going to take some time here and cut out the 2 of these small turtles, 1 of the lighter green, 1 of the darker green. They're fairly easy to fussy cut. I don't mind doing that. It's always easier and quicker if you have the die, but if you don't, it's definitely, just takes a minute here to get these 2 guys cut out. Okay, there's 1 of our turtles. And we'll get this other guy cut out. I call them both guys. They're probably 1 guy and 1 girl. Let's go with that. Or they could be both girls and both guys. Hey, I'm open. There we go. Okay, we have both of our cute little turtles cut out. And we're just going to decide how we want to position them on the top of the circle there. I am going to use a stamp set from this turtle set that we have. There's a number of sentiments that come on with it. Sorry I'm late. Happy belated birthday. Let's get lunch. I shall always love you. Let's celebrate, and shallow there, which is what I ended up using, is the shallow there. So I'm just positioning that, and I learned this little trick too, to lay your dies down the way you want them to position, and then bring your stamp block over, and then they're on the stamp block the way that you want them to appear on the card, with spacing and lined up, etc. I think here I'm just thinking about how I want these guys to be positioned. I do end up putting them face to face on one another. So we'll stamp our sentiment. I did forget to use my secret weapon here, so I'm really thankful that the stamp came out nice and clear, that I didn't have to try to re-stamp that a second time because I'm not very good at that. But Secret Weapon is a good tool to make sure you get a perfect stamp the first time every time. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and grab my pop dots. I like the pop dots effect, so I'm going to grab those and get these two guys popped up here. And there you have it. That is going to be our side circle fun fold. I do then like to decorate the inside a little bit, and I like to use scraps to do that. So I was looking to see what I have. I went through a couple of things. I didn't like anything that I had. You will see at the very end in the photo that I did end up adding a ribbon to the left-hand side of the card. But that's it. Hope you liked it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed our video, feel free to like and subscribe to our channel or give us a comment. You can also find us on Facebook.